topic is developmental milestone. Is your child growing adequately? And how to check child growth and development? Monitoring a child growth and development is essential to ensure they are progressing appropriately or not. Okay. So that you have to check regularly your child growth and development. And how will you check? You have to go for a regular health checkup at the age of 1 month, 2 months, 4 months, 6, 9, and 12 months. And child height, weight, head circumference should be measured at regular intervals to ensure the proper growth of your child. And next is the development. That first is the milestones. Milestones are the age-specific skills or abilities the most children can do at a certain age, like physical, cognitive, social, emotional development. At which age your child should have these abilities or not will decide that your child is growing and developing properly or not. It may be crawling, walking, talking, or interacting with others. At which age your child started walking, child started speaking is very important for the milestone. Then developmental screening. Pediatrician often use, we have a well-known pediatrician with us, Dr. Neelam. She will tell in a better way, but pediatrician often use developmental screening tools to assess the progress of the child. It may be the age and stage questionnaire or Denver developmental screening test. Then observe, pay attention to child behavior, social interaction and communication. Observe how they play, share, express emotions and engage with others. How the child is communicating is also assessed. Then we will come that at which age, which milestone should be achieved. Like if a child is having up to 12 months, then what physical developments are required, like lifts head and chest, rolls over, sits with support and crawls. Cognitive development, like response to sound and voices, follows objects with eyes, begins to explore objects by mouthing, and recognizes familiar faces. And in social and emotional level, up to a 12-month child will form emotional bonds with caregivers, smile in response to others. If you will smile, child will smile back. Shows interest in social interactions and begins to imitate. Imitation started at the age of 12 months. Then toddlers, means 1 to 3 years child, what development is required? Number one is in physical development. A child walks independently, climbs stairs, throws and kicks a ball, begins to control fine motor skills, stacking blocks. In cognitive development, explores objects with hands and fingers, understands simple instructions, recognizes familiar objects and people, engage in pretend play. Means child try to pretend be a doctor, policeman or anything else. Then social and emotional development, child is showing increasing independence, begins to share toys with other children, experience a range of emotions and form simple friendship. At the preschool age, like 3 to 5 years, when the child is achieve up to 3 to 5 years, then he should have in a physical development, runs and jumps, hops on one foot, copies basic shapes, holds a pencil and scribbles. In cognitive development, follows multi-step instructions like come here and take a water. Means multiple step instructions child is able to follow. Sorts subjects by color, shapes and sizes, recognizes letters and numbers, begins to understand cause and effect, engages in cooperative play, shows empathy towards others, express emotions with words, begins to understand and follow rules. And at the age of when child is started going to school, that is 6 to 12 years, in physical development, refines motor skills, sports, handwriting, develops coordination and balance, experiences growth spurts. In cognitive development, learn to read and write proficiently, develops problem-solving skills, understands more complex concepts, learns about time and space. Social and emotional development, forms deeper friendship, develops a sense of identity, experiences a wide range of emotions, begins to understand social norms and expectations. At the age of 13 to 18 years, means adolescent age, child undergoes puberty and growth spurts, develops fine motor skills, refines coordination and physical abilities, enhances critical thinking, develops abstract thinking, explores personal interests and passions, plans for the future. In social and emotional development, forms more mature relationship, explores personal values and beliefs, develops a sense of independence, navigates complex social dynamics. If the child is not achieving these at the appropriate age, which I have mentioned, at which age what should be developed, means child is having developmental delay, and some are the red flags. Red flags means if child is having lack of interest in surroundings, limited or no eye contact, difficulty with basic motor skills, speech and language delay, and social withdrawal. If these things are present in your child, you should be alert and you should immediately contact your doctor for the detailed assessment. It may be developmental delay, maybe autism, ADHD, or any other challenges, so that you should be aware. That is why I have written a book to explain these things in details, to aware those parents who could not aware about these, and how to check your child is having autism or not, that I have mentioned in detail in my book, Let Autistic Child Be the Best, which is dedicated to Special Olympic Bharat UP, and this is a guide for parents and adults with autism. I would like to summarize some points so that if you are having any person who is in touch with you, having child with autism in neighborhood, in your relationship, or anyone else, you could be able to communicate your child is having some problem and you should immediately go for assessment without any delay, so that a child life could be saved by your small initiative. Because child life, in the sense if the child is getting proper interventions timely, then child life will be, quality of life will be improved. So that in first chapter I have discussed what are the triad of autism, that is social interaction, child feels alone and child try to be alone, not mingle with other children or peer groups, having communication challenges like not properly having speech delay, or not able to communicate their basic needs also. And repetitive behavior and restricted interest means child is having limited interest, child will be interested in only hand flapping, repetitive behavior like, or moving the anything like fan or light, so that child is having restricted and repetitive behavior and interest, and communication challenges and social issues. 40% child are having a non-verbal or could not speak. Then what are the numbers which we have discussed earlier? One in every 44 child is affected by autism, and it is higher than baseline data 241% in the year 2000. Usually it could be diagnosed at the age of 2 years, but on an average it is diagnosed at the age of 4 years, and it is 4 times higher in boys than in girls. 40% children with autism don't talk or non-verbal. 44% have average or above average intellectual ability, and 31% have an intellectual disability. 36.5% of caregivers use applied behavior analysis, and World Autism Awareness Week is from 26 March to 2nd April. These are the important facts for autism, so that you should know the severity of the problem. Then, what is the problem in Indian scenario? Limited national data, rural-urban disparity, because doctors and therapy centers are available in urban areas and no doctor or therapy center is available, especially in rural and remote areas for autism. And estimate is 1 to 2% have population have ASD, Autism Spectrum Disorder, and many challenges in diagnosis, like proper team is required and team is not available everywhere to diagnose it properly, and awareness is another challenge, because people are not aware about the autism and they are adopting the policy of wait and watch. his father has spoken late, so that he will also speak late. So that wait and watch policy is also dangerous for the child not speaking or having speech delay. Then these are the symptom checklist. What are the symptoms you could find out, and you should be aware if your child is having autism. Then if child is having difficulty in making eye contact, challenge in forming relationship or friendship, and having lack of interest and enjoyment, if child is not able to share their achievements, difficulty understanding and using non-verbal cues, child could not understand facial expressions or gestures. Then in communication, child is delayed or limited speech development, repetitive or unusual language pattern, and challenges in understanding and using social rules of communication, lack of limited use of gestures and social expressions. In behavior pattern, repetitive body movements, hand flapping, lining up toys, resistance to change in routine or environment, intense focus on specific topics or object, unusual reactions to sensory stimuli, hypersensitivity or hyposensitivity, and play and imagination, limited imaginative play, difficulty in pretending or role playing, and unusual attachment to objects or specific routines. Then what are the severity levels? Mild, moderate, and severe. If child is having difficulty in initiating social interactions and require mild support, then child is having mild autism, requiring substantial support, having moderate autism, and very substantial support are totally dependent on you. Then child is having severe autism. It may be a child is unable to speak a single word or only few words speaking, then it may be a severe autism case. Just only a general outline, not because for proper diagnosis of mild, moderate, severe requires a detailed evaluation and toolkit, but a general outline so that you could assume what is going on. Then, what are the myths and realities? Parents, this is the myth that all individuals with autism have some ability and specific talents, but only some individuals have specific talents like in mathematics or music, but not everyone. Then autism is due to bad parenting or vaccine. Parents are blaming himself or herself for autism, but it is not right because exact cause is not known. It may be genetic, neurological, or environmental factors. Sorry. Then autism can be cured. Another myth is autism is a lifelong disorder and it cannot be cured, but by proper interventions and early detection, quality of life of a child could be improved to a great extent. Then what is the importance of early intervention? You could address underlying issues like in addition to autism, child is also suffering from sleep issues, digestive issues, anxiety, depression, and hyperactivity. Other underlying issues will be also detected timely, and quality of life of a child could be improved, and challenges will be reduced, and social and communication skills will be also improved by early intervention. How diagnosis of autism is done? By screening, initial evaluation, routine developmental screening, parental concern, medical history, multidisciplinary assessment is required by developmental pediatrician or child psychologist, speech and language evaluation, occupational therapist, and psychiatric assessment. Diagnostic criteria require the DSM-5 criteria. Diagnostic and Statistical Manual 5 criteria is used and rule out other conditions like ADHD, speech delay, and other things. And feedback and discussion is done by parents and clinical teams. Then a proper intervention plan is designed and implemented, and follow-up and monitoring should be done. Then what are the treatment options? It may be the ABA is the gold standard for autism. It will help in behavioral issues, academic skills, adaptive skills, language, play and social skills, motor skills, and cognitive self-awareness. So that ABA is scientific based treatment. Other interventions are speech and language therapy, social skill training to develop eye contact, initiate conversation, and understanding social cues. Then occupational therapy for sensory issues, sensory integration therapy, helpful. Fine and gross motor skill development and activity of daily living. Occupational therapy is helpful. Then RTI, development and relationship, floor time and relationship development interventions in a play way. Social and imaginative development through play. The child should be taught through a play way. You have to sit on a floor sorry, and then you have to mingle with the child and you have to start playing with the child, and then you could teach or guide to teach them the desired lesson. Then educational intervention, teach treatment and education of autistic and related communication handicapped children. In this way, we use visual supports and structured environment. In medication, anxiety, attention difficulties and aggression needs the medications, because parents are saying if my child is having autism, we should not give any medication. But if your child is having anxiety or hyperactivity, then it could be managed in a better way by medication. Then parent mediated interventions, parent training is essential because it is established by a research. If therapy is given by parents at home in a favorable atmosphere, then child will get opportunity to practice the skills 20 times more and result will be increased 5 times more. So that parent training is very crucial for the autism management. Then early intervention, it includes identification and assessment, family-centered approach, individualized services, multidisciplinary team. How to manage hyperactive child. Other issues the parents are coming after speech is, first problem is of parents is the child is reporting that child is not having proper speech up to the according to age. And second problem is that child is very much active. He is running here and there. He is continuously moving. He is jumping on floor and sofa and bed. Means hyperactive is the other challenge of parents. So that what should you do? Establish routine and structure, create a calm environment, encourage physical activity, use positive reinforcement, teach self-regulation, and provide clear transition. Physical activity is very essential to burn the calorie. It may be jumping, running, swimming, cycling, skating, to make your child calm and cool. Other issues is how to handle meltdown. When child is showing tantrum, what should they do? They are very much afraid about that how to handle at the time of meltdown. Then parents should be calm, ensure the safety of the child, and give a proper space where dim light and slow music is available, sensory toys are available, so that child could become calm and cool during the meltdown. You have to train your child calming techniques, communicate properly, then educate and accept how to send autistic child to regular school. As an individualized education program should be required. Communication with the school staff is essential. Then school visit on regular basis. Staff training of school is also required. Social skill support needed for sending autistic child to a regular school. Behavior support is also required. Speech and language support and sensory support required. Transition planning, regular communication and advocacy is required. Then diet. Other issues of parents, especially mothers, is what diet should be given to my autistic child. And it should be nutrient rich, maybe having fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, whole grains and dairy alternatives. Then protein rich diet, maybe fish, egg, legumes and plant-based. It should be rich in omega-3 fatty acid required for brain development, that is essential fatty acid, and it is having flaxseed, chia seeds. Then fiber-rich food, balanced meal, hydration is proper required, food sensitivity should be considered. Supplements are also needed if in nutritional deficiency like vitamin D, B12, omega-3, and mealtime routine should be fixed. Then What tools are required? Communication apps like Lilu, Autism Therapy with Meta, then social skills, sensory apps, educational apps, assistive technology, safety and emergency apps, communication, telehealth and teletherapy, parental supports, life skill apps. These are the apps. Then what are the tools required for the management of autistic child? Visual schedule is required, social storage, PCS, picture action communication system, sensory breaks, sensory diet, fidget tools, calming sensory space, token system, behavior chart. These are the tools. Social skill and emotional skill and parental involvement, these tools are required. Then other resources required, then equipments required, better blanket, communication board, speech and genetic devices, visual support, social storage, specialized care. Then these are the equipments required. How to manage transition, what are the strengths and challenges. I am running little bit fast so that we could get the time to discuss in a question and answer session. What are the positive aspects of autism? Then what are the communication challenges? And support supportive social skill, supportive social environment, family and caregiver support. What are the alternative communication methods? It may be a picture exchange communication system, communication board, sign language, speech generating devices for body language and gestures, facial expressions. Visual supports need the visual support, visual schedule and social stories. Because autistic child are visual learners, so that you have to use maximum visual things. It may be visual schedule, social stories, and other things, so that child could learn in a better way. Technology-based communication, texting and emailing and communication apps, choice boards and individualized approach are needed. Sensory sensitivities, it may be the auditory sensitivity, visual, tactile, olfactory, gustatory sensitivity may be. Individual variability are there, self-soothing behavior and sensory-friendly space should be in your house so that child could become calm and cool during meltdown or other time. So sensory-friendly space is required to utilize sensory plan. How will you make your sensory-friendly environment? Dim lighting should be there, reduce noise, create quiet zones, offer proper toilets, sitting arrangements, and remove clutters. Then these are the how to manage overstimulation. You have to develop a personalized toolkit. It may be sensory toolkit, noise cancelling headphone, fidget tools, and sensory toys, visual support like visual schedule or social stories. Then social interaction challenges, fostering social skill, navigating social. Then transition to adulthood. This is very crucial for autistic child. Prepare for the transition to adulthood. Early planning, individualized education plan, post-secondary education or training, job shadowing and independent living skill, social and communication skill. Preparing for the transition to adulthood also need legal and financial planning, transition services, healthcare self-management and community integration. What are the career opportunities? Other questions of parents asking are that will my child become self-dependent? Will he get the job? Will he get married? Then I would like to discuss what are the career job opportunities where autistic child could work. That is technology and IT, science and research, art and design, engineering, healthcare profession, data analysis and statistics, animal care, writing and editing, entrepreneurship, sensory-friendly careers. These are the opportunities for autistic child where they could try their future. What are the impact on family and support services? Unique challenges for individuals having communication challenges, sensory issues, parental stress, financial stress, because one of the parent has to are forced to leave their job for the autistic child care, so that financial concern are there. Impact on siblings, other child which is neurotypical is also affected by that, and emotional resilience and growth, so that you have to celebrate each and every achievements of your child, because you have many challenges, but you have to focus on the strength and positive aspects of your autistic child, and you have to celebrate achievements. Healthcare disparities and improved access to services, support services available. These are the support services. Other is the respite care services. The service, because autistic child care is a very challenging job, so that you need a break also, because you could not take a break when your child is near you. You have to continuously do that care. You need a break, and respite care centers will provide these type of services, so that your child care without affecting you, you can take a break. Then training and workshop I have already discussed. Then what are the government supports? Government has made the National Trust. National Trust for Welfare of Persons with Autism, Cerebral Palsy, Mental Retardation, and Multiple Disabilities. Because people are asking you what is the government support available. Then government is having Samriddhi scheme, Garanta scheme, Niramaya Health Insurance scheme, Vikas Day Care, income tax concession in ATU and ATDD, travel concession in train and flights, and hotel discounts are schemes and benefits available for autistic child and their parents. What are the challenges and joys? These are the navigating challenges, advocacy challenges, social challenges, then strategies for coping, how you have to main autistic parents of autistic child are so much busy in the child care that they forget their own care, so that the parents self-care is very essential aspect, and holistic well-being is needed. It may include the physical, like regular exercise, adequate sleep, nutritious eating, so that you could take proper care of your child. Emotional, like seeking emotional support, because parents are having very much stress due to physical work, due to financial reason and other reasons, so that emotional support is also needed. Mental challenges like prioritizing your work, personal time, and continuous learning is required. Social, you have to maintain social connection, and you can use the respite care services to take a break for your autistic child care. You can take respite care services through your own relatives, own friends who can take care of your child for a few hours, and you can take a break for that. Tactical time management, positive affirmation, then building support networks, celebrating personal achievements. Then what every parent must know: if your child is having autism, you should follow these steps. First, you should go for detailed assessment by Childhood Autism Rating Scale or ISA, Indian Scale for Assessment of Autism. Routine of a child should be fixed and visual. Treatment should be scientific based, and your goal should be SMART: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. Progress should be regularly measured, and personal attention should be given. And what is the success rate of treatment which are you planning to give? Holistic approach should be adopted, include physical, mental, social, emotional health of a child should be taken care of. Distraction-free environment should be there. Cost, duration, and location of treatment should be considered. Home therapy plan should be taken. Parents training is required. Monitoring home therapy is required, and associated comorbidity should be managed, and diet plan should be taken. Then chapter education and success rate. Then what is the, you have to promote inclusion, ensuring right and access, self-education skills, community advocacy, individualized education plan, health support for transition to adult healthcare, legal, know your rights, legal representation, public awareness campaigns, workplace. Then story of Special Olympics medal winners, because you are so much depressed. If you are having a child with autism, then you should know the achievers also, like Tushar Nath Singh, who has won the medal in Special Olympic 2023, or like Shrey Kadyan, who has won gold medal in 2015 in softball, so that your child could also participate in Special Olympics. and he or she could also win the medal and run their life in a proper way and make name and fame also, so that you should not be depressed. And what is, because Special Olympic is made for a child suffering from mental challenges, mental issues, mental disability, intellectual disability. If a child is having any intellectual disability, then he or she can participate in Special Olympics. If a child is not speaking, that is not the issue. He or she can participate in Special Olympics, and they are promoting that. What is the process? You have to understand the Special Olympics, check eligibility, find a local program, contact the local Special Olympic officer, complete registration, participate in training, volunteer opportunity, attend event, and promote inclusion and respect, stay informed, and celebrate achievement. These are the steps to participate in Special Olympics. And Special Olympics is not just support, it promotes inclusion, fosters personal development, builds a sense of community for individuals with intellectual disability. Now the perspective is shifting from deficit to diversity. Previously, it is considered as a deficit, a challenge, but it is a neurodiversity. Previously, it is considered as isolation. Now we are focusing on inclusion. Previously, it is considered as a social stigma. Now it is focused on social acceptance. Previously, it is uniformity. Now it is individuality. Previously, it was fixation. Now it is appreciation. Previously, it was only despair. If your child is having autism, now you have many hopes. You can do, your child could do many things, including win the medal in Special Olympics. Token inclusion to true understanding. Then encouragement and inspiration. Then what is virtual autism? Yes, we have discussed that if a child is having more than 4 hours of screen time, then child may develop virtual autism. Child is having hyperactivity is the first symptom of virtual autism. Other is the speech delay and behavioral issues. So that if you are giving your child tablet, mobile as laptop, you should avoid this up to the age of at least 3 years. Even after that also, but up to 3 years is the time of brain development, and if child is using more screen time, the brain development is affected. World Autism Awareness Day is the 2nd April. Then high functioning autism, child is having more than average intellectual ability, social interest, but they have less challenges. These are the types which is now included in DSM-5 in Autism Spectrum Disorder. What are the causes? Causes are not very clear, so that we will not discuss in detail. Genetic, neurological, environmental, still it is under research. Autism in adult is also a challenge because diagnosis is also a challenge due to various reasons. Then some famous people with autism: Temple Grandin, animal scientist, author and speaker; Dan Aykroyd, Derry Kim, actress Susan Boyle, Chris Peckham, Greta Thunberg. These are the achievers of having autism. Some people are also saying that Einstein and Elon Musk also accepted that I have mild autism. Many people have autism, but then you should not be despair if your child is having autism. Then what should you do? How should you know that your child is improving or not? If child is improving social communication, social relations, repetitive behavior is reduced, adaptive skills are developing, cognitive abilities are progressing, better emotional regulation, expanded interest and hobbies, and increased flexibility is the sign of improvement in autism. Then is autism a disability? Then what are the core features? ADHD and ASD. Yes, Dr. Ranjan asked what are the differential diagnoses. So attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, in this there is inattention, hyperactivity and impulsivity. But in autism spectrum disorder, challenges in social communication and social interaction along with restricted repetitive behavior. Then ADHD do not have the same level of difficulty with social responsibility. Social challenges are less in ADHD, but social difficulties are hallmark of autism. In ADHD, not a defining feature of ADHD, impulsive and hyperactive behavior, but in repetitive behavior is a defining feature in ASD. Then what is the high functioning autism and low functioning autism? limited in low functioning autism, limited verbal and communication skills. High functioning, I have already discussed. Then what are the co-occurring conditions? Anxiety, attention deficit disorder, depression, and gastrointestinal issues, sleep issue, mood disorder. Then what is the role of CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy in autism? And these are the autism workbook for kindergarten for adults and for 8 to 12 years. And what are the step-by-step guide for autism treatment? After a thorough assessment, I think I have already discussed it. Then how will you get offer for discount if you want to get this book? It is available on Amazon, and you will get discount, and the paperback English also available on Amazon, and paperback Hindi with bonus PDF checklist. Okay, and okay, yes, I think. Thank you very much for listening.